Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're gonna talk about Latte Panda. So let's dive right into it. So what exactly we are talking about? We are talking about a single board computer here, exactly like Raspberry Pi. So basically think of it this way, Raspberry Pi started a revolution. Now we have a lot of options in that matter. Now the core reason why anybody would look at this puppy is simply because this is x86. What does that mean? That simply means it has an Intel processor. Now Intel and AMD only, they are the only two company that has the license for x86. So only they can make it. And what does this mean? This simply means this puppy can run Windows natively. Windows, there are a lot of people who are trying to reverse engineer from Windows end to make Windows work on ARM. That is very behind schedule, so expect like next 5 years it will work. And there are a lot of people who are tricking basically normal Windows to work on ARM systems. Both are in perfect solution. This is a perfect solution because the processor is inherently x86 and it's inherently a quote-unquote desktop processor, quote-unquote laptop processor, so it runs Windows natively. So if you need Windows for some reason, this is your boy. Now on top of that, this sort of single board computer are not aimed for basically normal individual. They are aimed for makers kind of thing, hackers, those kind of equipments. And for them they need what we call GPIO pins, basically general purpose input and output pin. Desktop processors do not have them. So how the heck they will offer that? It's like Arduino is another popular project, so they are like, okay, let's integrate Arduino into this. So this board has Atmega 32U4. So basically Arduino Leonardo kind of architecture already exists in this. So if you can program for Arduino, you can handle with this without any problem. So this single board computer is one of those things which can be classified as a proper computer. So basically you plug a computer, mouse and give a basically web browsing job application. Any individual can utilize this without even thinking about it. So this is really good for that. Now we are talking about the alpha version, which is currently the latest and the most expensive one, 864. Now what does those number mean? 8 simply means the GB of RAM and 64 means the amount of memory in the subject. So you will find 00, which means you have to have basically NVMe plugged into it for it to work. But again, many times you may choose that as a better option and you can save money if you don't have to buy that 64 GB one. But if sometimes if like, dude, I don't want to buy NVMe just to run something on it, and if you want project load is very light, you may opt for 64 GB. Now it has Intel Core M3 8110Y. Now that's a proper desktop grade system processor, and M series is basically Intel took their I series, i3, i4, i3 and i5 and i7s, and they named it for M series. M series simply denotes it's a redesign and specifically designed on power consumption. So TDP of these puppies are very low end. For example, Apple MacBook also has these things. So fundamentally it's a quite capable system, and it has Intel integrated graphics 615. Now you may be like, why the heck I care about graphics? The reason is, like, even if you want to utilize this just as a media consumption device, if that puppy is weak, you will have very hard time. Yes, I never realized that that's the actual thing until I tried to use my old computer from 2009 to play a video file that was like around 50 GB. So yeah, it could not do that. The codecs was like too difficult to decode. Like processor was trying, it was like going all out, but it was barely doing it. So that's the reason why you have to make sure the graphics, integrated graphics, is good enough. Then we come to the aspect of RAM, 8GB low power DDR3. It has Bluetooth, it has gigabyte Ethernet. Basically as a proper desktop, it has almost everything. Think of it as just a re-engineered laptop motherboard. And for power delivery, you can utilize a proper power delivery adapter, basically directly from Apple, or you can utilize some other brands. And if you can directly power it through DC bus, let's say you are running it on a battery system, you get 4 USB 3.0 ports. Let that sink in. 4 USB 3.0 ports, which are really expensive. Even very expensive laptops starts to actually have 4 ports. Most of the time they have only 2. This puppy has 4. That's amazing. So 4 3.0 ports, that's awesome. It has full gbps basically LAN connection, which again many laptops nowadays remove simply just to make it thin and light. And I'm like, dude, you need low latency for sometimes and you don't want to rely on Wi-Fi all the time. It has that. And it has 2 M.2 slots. However, these slots are what we classify as different keyed. So one is M key, which is awesome for NVMe, but you cannot plug anything in other than that. And another key is E key. Now one is PCI 2.0, one is 2.0. I am saying basically one is PCI 2 lanes, another is PCI 4 lanes. So Fundamentally, it's not that amazing in expansion, but it does have the ability where you can plug a proper NVMe SSD into this to use as a proper reboot system. And this has full size HDMI. One thing that I truly hated about a Raspberry Pi 400 is like, why the heck you don't have full size HDMI? If it's supposed to be used as a computer, make it usable as a computer. Don't be like, okay, buy this fancy cable just so it can work. So that's really good. So fundamentally speaking, it's a very capable low power laptop, so to say. However, till this point, everything is awesome. Like, it's a basically a bit bigger than Raspberry Pi, more powerful than a Raspberry Pi. Everything is amazing. It can run actual Windows. The problem is the cost. There is only one fault with this. This is ludicrously expensive. Fundamentally speaking, it's gonna cost in India around 35,000 rupees. That's so much that we can buy a proper low power laptop, and that laptop will have display, that will have keyboard, that will have mouse, that will have battery, that will be a full set. And don't even think about touching into second hand market. The moment you touch second hand, this will be obliterated. Fundamentally, it's very weak against low power systems. So if you are comparing to, let's say, a desktop, even if you hold your desktop, it's gonna be destroyed. The only reason you are paying this much money is for two core things. First, it's very small, ultra thin design, so that is 13.5 millimeter. While there are laptops that are kind of this thin, but those are ludicrously expensive. So at that point in time, yeah, you may be like, okay, but be mindful, this is not complete equipment. So 13.5 millimeter, you're paying for that. Another, you're paying for the low power consumption. So if you can get the performance from a, let's say, basically older desktop, those will be very power hungry. So only if you need these two criteria, then this is useful. Otherwise, look somewhere else. There are a lot of second-hand options. There are a lot of cheap options. So fundamentally, that's the whole thing. And another aspect, Arduino. You may be like, okay, this has a basically Arduino that I want to utilize. You may be disappointed by that. 332 basically 34U4, it's a good system. It does work. That's my first Arduino project also, but it's not mega. And in Arduino, you want to upgrade to yourself. Now it's like, okay, I need this many GPI open, awesome. If I need more, I can't do anything. It's integrated in this, I can't change it. So fundamentally, that's the main limiting factor. Yes, like what they give you, you have to be happy with it. It would be much cheaper for you, and especially if you only want to do Arduino, just buy a proper Arduino outside and use even mobile phone nowadays. You can have the ability to basically burn code to the system as long as you have USB-C. So it's not faster than laptop. And there is like this kind of fake quote unquote cherry picked example where they have comparing the Geekbench result. Now Geekbench is a synthetic test, that's the first thing. Second, it's only looking at the processor, so it's running numbers on the processor, and this is the latest generation. So they are like, yeah, our can achieve 4,000, where new MacBook, which is running on M3 7Y32 processor, it's like around 3,500. And a Lenovo C50 that is running i5, which is even older, 5200U, it's only getting 3,000 for HD. Those numbers are synthetic. On top of that, all these laptops, they have much better RAM configuration, and there is no point of having an awesome CPU if it's bottlenecked by the RAM. You have to make sure there is no bottleneck in the system. Now this has the bottleneck of only 8 GB. So A, it's limited to 8 GB. B, you cannot upgrade it. C, it's a very low frequency also. So, and as many times you have heard people say like, you do not need to buy the highest frequency RAM. That's absolutely true, but that's in desktop, because desktop default RAM speeds are very high. This puppy, it's very low. So fundamentally, the RAM is the choke point, and many people understand that. Like if they had gone for proper like dual channel 8 GB RAM, they could have done that. There are companies that manufacture that. That's not an issue. It's just that it would have costed them a lot. So that's the fundamental limit. Everything else you do on the system, it's limited by that. And all these laptops, most of them could easily have a dedicated GPU. At that point in time, this is gonna freaking destroyed. If they have more RAM, it will be destroyed. If they have same amount of RAM, 8 GB, but running at higher frequency at and dual channel, this will be destroyed. So that's the whole point. So you have to be very, very mindful. Do you really need this kind of equipment? Awesome. If you need the low power consumption, awesome. Otherwise, if you need for anything else, go with something else, because even though they are saying it can do quote unquote gaming, it cannot do gaming properly. I have provided a video down below. You can even check a proper graphics card usually by forcing it to run on PCI 2.0, PCI 2 lanes. It just does not work well enough. It's not designed for that. So what we can expect in the future is the final question here. Now, single board computer market is heating up. Raspberry Pi started a revolution, and it's a successful revolution. A lot of companies are manufacturing a lot of things, and even LattePanda has been going on for 4+ years at this point in time. So it's doing something well. So there are a lot of good options, and this puppy has one unique selling point. For some reason, Windows tablet did not catch on, so to say. Now at this point in time, if you want to have a proper tablet that is 8 GB RAM, good luck with that. It's literally cheaper for you to just build this. So fundamentally, I can see some project and application that are like, dude, only LattePanda can do that. Like there are some quote unquote niche markets where this puppy will do. Like if you want to make a laptop, this can make it. If you want to make a Windows tablet, this can do it. So there are some users. It's just not best of anything. So if you need those three requirements, A, it has to be very small. B, it has to be very low power. C, it has to run Windows. Only then LattePanda can be a good solution for you. And I'm pretty sure there is enough demand for it, otherwise this company would not have stuck around for freaking 4+ years. So, and another case of Arduino, if you're happy with the Arduino processor they are giving you, and you're like, hey, I'm happy, the performance of the Arduino, I'm happy with this. It's just that I wish I could connect it to clouds, because I know Arduino programming. I do not want to learn Teensy or some another system. I just want to utilize the Arduino directly. This can do that because it has Windows, and you can directly create a script to run on Windows that can pull data from Arduino system. So there are a lot of niche applications, however, bit rough on your wallet, so to say. So this was my presentation on basically LattePanda. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please press, please comment, because I'll try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.